The Trump administration held a second round of talks with Iranian officials over the weekend on the country's nuclear program. A statement from the White House National Security Council reads in part, quote, "We made very good progress in our direct and indirect discussions. We agreed to meet again next week." Special U.S. Envoy Steve Witkoff led the talks on behalf of the Trump administration. He met with the Iranian foreign minister, who says he plans to bring in experts to discuss what a possible deal could look like. Will Todman joins us now. He's the chief of staff of the Geopolitics and Foreign Policy Department at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. Well, thanks for being here. What's your read on how these talks are going?
Thanks for having me. I think they are going very well. I think it's important to remember that just a couple of months ago, the supreme leader of Iran said it wouldn't be intelligent, wise, or honorable to engage in talks with the United States. This was an atmosphere of real distrust between the U.S. and Iran, particularly since President Trump withdrew from the Iran deal during his first term. He then imposed crushing sanctions on Iran and assassinated one of its most senior military commanders. So the fact that we've gone from that atmosphere of mistrust to now the second complete round of talks, as you mentioned, with positive signs coming out of both sides and pledges to move on to the technical level of talks and to have another high-level round in Oman next weekend, shows that both sides clearly think it's worth continuing to engage.
How much progress has Iran made in its nuclear program since President Trump pulled out of the 2015 nuclear deal?
It has made serious advances in its nuclear program. The previous Iran deal capped Iran's uranium enrichment at 3.67%. And now, according to inspectors and intelligence reports, it's over 60% enrichment. That means that it is getting much closer to the 90% mark it would need to be able to make a nuclear weapon.
How much closer?
Well, it's reportedly about 90% of the way there. And although Iran continues to say that it's not trying to get to have a nuclear weapon, it is clearly hoping to have the option to get there quite quickly if it feels under an existential threat or if it feels that that's the best way to secure its interests.
Is it your understanding that they've stopped efforts right now but could pick them up? And if they were to pick them up again, how many months until they would be at 90% enrichment?
So, yes, I think during the talks, they are trying to give space for these talks to move forward and to see if they can go in a positive direction. And so I think they have probably put a halt on continuing to enrich. But we're probably just a matter of weeks away from them reaching that point if they do decide to take that step.
Weeks. Where do you see talks heading after these initial meetings? What's next?
So first, they have to start talking about the technical level, and those talks will begin on Wednesday. But there is still some uncertainty about exactly what the Trump administration wants out of Iran for this deal. Last week, we had some contradictory statements from his special envoy, Steve Witkoff, about whether Iran would be allowed to go back to that 3.67 enrichment level or whether it would have to give up its nuclear program completely. So that has caused some unease for the Iranians. But I think the fact that the talks are continuing to another round shows that they believe that it could lead in a positive direction. They could end up making a deal which would probably include sanctions relief. And so for now, both sides are committed. They're continuing to build trust. And we'll see whether it can actually lead to getting across that finish line. But there are some really difficult decisions and concessions needed from both sides to get there.
Yeah, real quick, Will, I'm guessing that 0% enrichment, back to zero, is a non-starter for Iran. Would they accept 3.67%?
They've always said that they only want to use the nuclear program for energy purposes, and that's the level that would be required for that. That's previously what they agreed to under the JCPOA, but they have said that they want to go beyond the JCPOA, the former Iran deal this time. They want to include more sanctions relief, more promises of investment, perhaps. And Iranian officials have been trying to speak Trump's language by talking about the investment opportunities that exist. And I think they hope that he will go further than President Obama went in 2015 and could usher in a very new stage in U.S.-Iran relations.
Well, Todman, thank you.
Thank you.